Hello, and welcome back to Games Benchmarked. Today we will compare Ryzen 5 1600 against Ryzen 5 3600. Both are 6-core and 12-thread CPUs. Third generation Ryzen comes with improved IPC, latencies and higher clocks. For example, I was able to overclock 1600 to 3.8 GHz, while 3600 was stable at 4.4 GHz. First, we will start with productivity benchmarks. In Handbrake 3600 was 60 seconds faster or 23%. In DaVinci Resolve 3600 export time was 224 seconds faster, or 3 minutes and 44 seconds less. Then we have Cinebench R15 and R20 scores. In both benchmarks, 3rd Gen Ryzen part crushed 1600. 1,248 points against 1,710 points, and 2,760 against 3,917 points. In R20 3600 was actually 30% faster. Last benchmark is Geekbench. In this benchmark 3600 enjoys more modest win, in both single and multi-core. 980 points against 1,266 and 5,657 against 7,279 points. Or 23% victory for 3600. With productivity benchmarks out of the way, it is time for gaming. I will show gameplay footage, and at the end of each game there will be performance graphs. Performance graphs are captured without recording gameplay. There will be two graphs. First is more realistic 1080p, maximum settings with RTX 2060. Because I want to show people what are realistic gains, when you are upgrading from 1600 to 3600, and second graph is more theoretical gaming gains, where gameplay is captured in 1080p, but with lowest settings. So you are able to see how much faster 3600 can be, when it is not restricted by graphics card. If you are running for example 1600 and 2080 Ti.
Got my eye on you. Trouble?
First game is Witcher 3. On maximum settings with Hairworks disabled, both CPUs are basically equal, scoring 114 FPS. Only when you reduce settings to low, 3600 can pull away a bit, scoring 133 FPS. But 1600 is very close to limit, because lowering settings did not improve performance significantly, only 5 FPS.
These balls will make me rich as Christos.
They're that good, are they?
War's brewing. The Athenians need to close.
Second game is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This is one of the most CPU-intensive titles there is. It can max out even 3600. So, it is no surprise that even at maximum settings, 3600 offers noticeable performance boost. 54 FPS against 65 or 20% increase. Reducing settings to low, surprisingly does not increase performance gap, now 3600 is just 15% faster.
Swarm! Oh shit, carrier! Bro, we can use those reinforcements right about now!
Condor's almost within range, Delta. Okay, kid, reinforcements incoming. I've got Guardians or DR1s. What do you want?
Send down Guardians!
You got it!
Gears of War 5, on high settings there is no performance difference at all. Only if we switch to low settings there is some noticeable difference, 134 FPS versus 182. Shadow of the Tomb Raider benefits from faster CPU, even with RTX 2060. On ultra settings with ray tracing disabled we get 112 FPS versus 123. If we drop settings to low, then 3600 is ahead by 21 FPS. It is worth mentioning that 1600 still scored above 150 FPS, so it's not a bad result at all.
Eliminate all targets in the AO. Search inside the buildings for weapons and ammo. Listen to the grab some armor.
Target down!
Searching the building until you find a better weapon.
Reloading! Taking fire! Oh!
Well done. The upper right part of your HUD shows how many enemies remain. You need a weapon, soldier. Find one.
No ammo!
Grab some armor for it. Search the building for weapons. Good work. Red dots on the minimap show the location of nearby enemies. Now hunt them down.
Call of Duty, Warzone is one of those titles where we are limited by 2060 even on low settings, so both CPUs scored almost equal FPS. Red Dead Redemption 2 is very interesting title. On maximum settings we are heavily GPU bound, but somehow 3600 finds extra frames for GPU to push. 52 versus 57 FPS. On low settings gap is bigger, 99 versus 117.
They can fly now. Great.
In control with RTX disabled we are GPU bound in all times. Does not matter high or low settings, so both CPUs performs the same.
Come on, let's go! We have to move or we're done for! We're approaching a large intersection. The station entrance should be right past it. Watch out! The snow is deep.
Best game is Metro Exodus. On extreme settings with RTX disabled, we get equal performance, 71 FPS. If we drop to low preset then we can see some nice CPU scaling where 3600 gets 200 FPS, while 1600 scores 159. It is time to sum it up. First graph is average FPS on ultra settings. For almost all games it is draw or very close to it. Only exception where 3600 provides not only measurable, but also noticeable difference is Assassin's Creed, Odyssey. So yeah, if you play AAA titles and have somewhat mid-range GPU then there is on average 3% performance gain, which is not worth it, to upgrade. So, let's check average FPS on low settings. Now it is a little bit different. In games like Gears of War 5 and Metro Exodus we can see 50 and 40 FPS difference. That means, 3600 is 26 and 21% faster than 1600. But those are best case scenarios. On average you get 13% increase. A conclusion is that 1600 is still very capable CPU, even for relatively high frame rates. Basically all games could run at 100 FPS or higher. So there is no point for you to upgrade if you have GPU like RTX 2060 and you play AAA titles on high settings. I would recommend upgrading if you have something like RTX 2070 Super. Even if you play esports titles 1600 has no problem to push 150 FPS or more. If you are doing some productivity also, then 3600 upgrade would make more sense, as it is only $160 and you get 20 to 30% more performance without any extra investments. If you are building new PC, then of course get 3600. Thank you for watching and staying until the end. If you want to purchase any of the 3rd generation Ryzen CPUs you can do it via my Amazon affiliate link down in the description. It will not cost anything extra for you, but it would help me purchase more hardware. If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to drop a like, and if you want to see more videos like this you can subscribe, so YouTube notifies you. Thanks, stay safe and keep playing video games.